What is up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of Guess What? The Bento Boxcast. Yes, sir. It is officially episode 3.
Yeah. Three.
Man, Rafa, episode 2 got like so much love, and I appreciate everybody who's watched it, and said anything.
Yes,
but
sir.
man, the leagues of the leaps we took from episode 1 to episode 2 are insane. If you guys haven't checked it out on YouTube, we added some cool new little, features. I don't know if you saw here and there. We added a whole new. Go ahead.
Production value.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
we added a whole new song, to the intro, outro. It sounds so smooth, man. Oh my god.
We made that song ourselves, handcrafted.
I feel
So
like
we
that's.
were.
You never heard of plagiarism in school, man?
No, we did that. It was all us.
Yeah.
Nobody else.
It was all Rafa. If any legal, people want to come at him, it was all Rafa, not me. All Rafa.
It's all acapella. I did all that with my mouth.
Okay.
Yeah.
But other than that, we also added a cool new little animation while you're watching the podcast on YouTube, and it just looks so phenomenal. Shout out to the editor, which is John from Geek Jar. And you know what? Actually, funny enough, normally we start off with some banter, right? But I kind of just want to get into some just pure on shit talking, and then we'll get into the banter from there. But
oh my
man, I have some beef, some A1 prime beef.
Ooh.
With the Geek
Steak.
Jar guys. Yes, sir. And here's the thing, man. And this is the part that I don't understand. So in the last podcast, we kind of sent some shots, at their way. And truthfully, all I said was one thing. I said Alex had a big ass head. And
Which is true though.
No, it's
honestly,
facts.
Yeah, it's more like just stating facts than anything.
Yeah. So that's my thing. It's like I said one thing, right? But you said fuck John this and fuck John that.
Yeah.
And and even send some minor
John.
shots towards Alex and why is it that we listen to the Plan Pod, which shout out to them, go watch it, as much as they want to shit talk and act all tough, they make a damn good podcast. Yeah, and that's not, that's what it is.
A lot of fun segments.
Yeah.
A lot of good stuff on there.
Except for that one segment where they play music, that shit sucks. Blows.
It's the worst part.
It's the worst part of the whole thing. But anyways, enough being nice to them. Let's go back to being mean. Yeah, I say one thing and then I get the most smoke in that episode of the podcast. I don't understand. Honestly, I just feel like the hats on their heads are too tight and hiding their, hairlines. John, I know you didn't send any shots my way. I appreciate you and love you. But Alex, man, his hairline is oh my, it's some type of joke, man. Oh my god.
Have you ever seen like those you know how they track earthquakes and have like the line that goes up and down like crazy? That's both of their hairlines.
Oh man, I was gonna go with the McDonald's symbol. That's his hairline.
Like I was about to say Vegeta. You got the Vegeta hairline.
The Vegeta hairline. It's receding on one end and the other. But
exactly.
Down the middle, it's perfectly fine. I like that anime tie-in. I like it.
Thank you.
But anyways, man, you know what, Rafa? I'm gonna let you just freehand it. Any shots you want to shoot their way?
Okay, if you guys have heard their podcast, Alex has his line where he says they're the most video gamist podcast on YouTube. I gave him that line, and he has not given me credit for it. So you'll be
the
hearing
receipts,
from our
honey.
lawyers.
Give it to him. Ooh.
Exactly, from our lawyers, Pedro Papi Productions. That is Lawyer Incorporated. You'll be hearing a phone call from them, buddy. And fuck John.
Gotta sneak that one in. Yeah, honestly, I heard at the Pedro Papi production law firm, they have a cute ass secretary. He wears like these weird tight ass shirts though. His name was Ken. Yeah, I don't know, bro.
Just throwing Ken in there.
Shouts to everybody, they get it all.
Hey.
Anyways, man, enough of that toxicity. We're not about that here.
Yeah, we're positive here. We're all about positivity and love.
Hey, hit him with that. But anyways, man, I guess to continue on with the podcast, right? How have you been since the last time we recorded? It's been a minute. But yeah.
Yeah. I've been good. It's been just really chill, just hanging out, watching anime, playing video games. Speaking of which, I don't want to put his all his business out there. But Kenny was wearing a pretty tight shirt the other day. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know, but just I did notice.
Hey man,
I was like, yeah.
he's a little quarantine, if you know what I'm saying. Except quarantine.
Kenny's gonna. By the way, people who are listening, Kenny's my roommate, and he's also friends with Hector here.
Yeah.
He's when he hears this, he's just gonna walk in and slap me in the face. I'm gonna be here playing video games or something. He's gonna come in and punch me in the head. Like, how are you gonna be talking shit like that? But
Or
no, it's.
something worse. Honestly, he's gonna grab your butt or something. Kenny's sus
Oh
sometimes
man.
with that tight
Oh my
shirt.
god. There's nothing wrong with, liking other men, but I don't like men. I want to make that clear. But yeah, no. Enough shit talking to our friends. No, it was a pretty chill week. Just looking forward to the summer. Can't wait to be able to hang out with everybody else again. Pretty much.
No, true. Okay. Man, and I guess for me, right, since the
Yeah,
last
and you?
podcast, it's been cool, man. Honestly, just watching more anime. So I'm gonna be honest, man. In the last pod, I said I was gonna go back to work, and turns out my job said I can still keep cooling it. Just still keep getting paid, just to
Lazy.
just hang out at the crib.
Lazy.
Play some video
Bum.
games, watch some anime. Just have a good time. But other
Mm-mm-mm.
than that, man, like I've been catching up on so much anime. And just like we said in the last pod, man, all the anime is starting to come out again, and I'm just so hyped to start watching it all over.
Right.
And it's just so cool. But you know what?
Uh,
Actually, go ahead.
I was just gonna say something really, really quick.
Mm-hmm.
Just really quick, Hector. Just really quick.
Go for it.
I'm tired of y'all youngins getting off free and getting to do nothing and get paid as us older folks have to go out there and work every single day. I'm tired of it, Hector. You better go back to work by tomorrow,
Oh,
or I'm telling on your mama and your daddy. I'm doing it. I'm gonna call them up and be like, "How are you gonna have this son staying at home and not working?" I'm gonna give him a whooping. I'm gonna give you a whooping, Hector. I'm doing that right now.
well,
I'm gonna
let me.
get my chancla or my belt. I'm gonna grab something. So I'm gonna. Fair warning, dude. You're gonna get a whooping.
We all fear the chocolate. That's
Yeah,
definitely the
right.
biggest, scariest thing in the world.
Yeah,
But enough of this, man. Enough of chit chat. Let's get right into the anime, because this is an anime podcast.
right. We're the most animeist podcast around.
You know it, man. And yeah, so we're gonna start off today with the news segment. Go ahead, Rafa. Give us a theme song.
Oh, Channel 10 at midnight news alert here today. Breaking news. It's Hector, our corresponding news guy, and he has news for us today. Go ahead, Hector.
Oh man, thank you, Rafa. I appreciate it. You've gotten better since the last time.
Oh,
Uh,
thank you.
so the big news today, and this revolves around an anime that both me and you love a lot.
Mm,
Um,
mm.
The Promised Neverland. Now,
Ooh, so good.
whew, in case
Tasty.
you guys don't know what that is, The Promised Neverland is, trying not to spoil anything, an anime about a group of kids who were orphans at an orphanage. And
Hmm.
you think everything's a-okay, you think it's going to be a sweet, nice little story, and then, you know, shit hits the fan, and then you meet some scary things, and you find out the truth about it, and trust me, I would love to say more, but if I say any more, it's gonna go straight into spoiler territory.
Yeah, it's one of those animes that you cannot talk about in detail without honestly giving it away. It's about these kids, like Hector was saying, they're orphans, and they kind of get a reality check,
Oh yeah, a big
and
reality
then
check.
and then you kind of see where it goes from there. Like it's really hard to explain, but honestly, it when that for me when that anime came out was my favorite anime of that season,
Oh,
hands down, hands
honestly,
down.
and all right, here's the thing for me at least when I first watched it, I kind of stopped around episode 9. And then I remember bringing it up to you, and you're like, "No, man, you gotta finish it." So I finished it, and I ended up reading the manga right after. And I cannot wait till it's fully animated. But see, this is where it gets into it, and the curious thing. Wow, dude, I butchered that word. Anyways, Amazon is officially announcing that they're gonna pick up The Promised Neverland for a live action
Ooh,
series.
nice. Who knew? Who knew Jeff Bezos was like that? Mm.
And that's the crazy part, man. I feel like this is an anime that could do really well as a live action. I don't know how you feel
Yeah.
about it, but like
No, I agree.
it's such a good anime, and I am actually thoroughly excited to see what live action is going to be like. Because let's be honest, a lot of the live action stuff hasn't been super, all that great. And actually, we're going to get into that at a later point in the podcast, actually towards the end. But a lot of anime to live action adaptations have not been stellar whatsoever. So
No.
if this one hits the mark, and with the fact that it's such a popular and such a good anime, I think it's going to be super super good. So I'm really excited to see it. And honestly, that news kind of came in at the best time because as of a recording, which is May 16th, June 16th.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, I totally slipped. June 16th. The previous Sunday, which was yesterday, uh, the manga finished. So it completely finished, wrapped up, and everything was
Officially.
officially. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Done and done.
And I don't want to spoil it because I know you're excited for the next season when they come out and everything.
Right.
But the payoff, the ending, the manga as a whole was absolutely phenomenal. I absolutely love it. It's one of my top 10 favorite anime stories mangas that I've ever read and watched. I cannot wait to see it fully animated, but man, oh man, was it good. And
That's
yeah.
sorry, I was gonna say that's really great to hear because I'm pretty sure we talked about this manga beforehand. Didn't you? I could be wrong. I might be getting these confused. But was this the manga that you were talking about where they told the guy to wrap it up ahead of time? Was it this manga?
No, 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 it was a different one.
Okay, never mind, never
Yeah,
mind,
yeah, yeah.
never mind.
No, this one, man, they gave their
They
uh,
gave him time,
they
and
gave
he.
the person creative, like, do whatever you want, man, like just finish it out, round it out. And I honestly had no qualms with, like, the manga at all. I normally, like, with big animes and like just big mangas, you think like, okay, man, please stick the landing, please stick the landing, because like it could be phenomenal, towards throughout the entire anime and just chapters and everything. And then right when it gets towards the later half, you're like, man, fuck, it literally fell flat, or it just didn't hit the mark where I wanted it to. uh
Is there any manga that you've read through like all of it and you felt they fucked up the ending?
um
And it's
mm,
just something really quick.
Honestly, no. They're actually, yeah, no, I don't think I've read any that have really, well, because the thing is, the ones that I'm reading right now currently as well are still ongoing, so they haven't really finished. Oh, actually, no, I lied. There is one that thoroughly pissed me off. Thank you for reminding me. And it's not a spoiler, but it's a anime that you
Just
also
don't,
love, Demon Slayer.
just don't. Okay, I was gonna say just don't go into detail, but
Yeah.
just.
I'm,
So wait, so Demon Slayer's over? The manga's over?
Yep, manga's over. That happened, I think, less than a month ago. But actually, no, like 2 Sundays ago. I'll
Oh
probably say two
wow.
Sundays ago. It finished, wrapped up, and there is a huge controversy, which I guess is another segment that we can add into the news part. There was a lot of uproar for how poorly the chapter ended, or the manga series ended for Demon Slayer. Like tons of people in Japan and tons of other people
Dang.
everywhere, like actually hated it. Some are like okay with it, but overall, like nobody truly loved it from the things that I've read, at least. So that one,
Hmm.
even myself, I genuinely was upset about just the ending. I really wish it had ended differently. Um, but yeah, I mean, where that one fails, Promise Neverland hit, man. Like that one just landed so well. And
Nice.
I
Good
cannot
to
wait for all
hear.
that to be animated. Like honestly, man. And then hopefully, down the line when it does, and the Bento Boxcast is still going strong, we can talk about it. But dude,
In detail and so
yeah,
yeah. Cannot wait,
it was
cannot
so
wait.
good. Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie, dude. I shed a few tears. Like, oh man, it was so
Oh
good.
my.
It was that good. But
Hmm.
yeah, man. That ends about, or that's about it, and ending our news segment. So Rafa, take us out of
Uh
here. Oh,
no, it's over. Thank you, Hector, for the news, and back to you, me. Thanks, Hector.
great ending. Land it.
Yep, got it.
So there's a reoccurring theme that we have here. Not theme, sorry, a segment that I've honestly loved and surprisingly kind of shocked me for this week. Uh, we had Vice Versa in the last
Oh
podcast,
yeah, baby.
and we had some interesting little anime swaps, right? So I had
Yes.
you watch Tower of God, and you
Mm-hmm.
had me watch K-On! Now I know everybody's most anticipating listening to
Yes,
me talk about
sir.
K-On!, but we're gonna start
Okay,
off
yeah,
with
baby.
you. We're gonna see
I love
how you
K-On!
felt about Tower of God. Hit it.
I liked it. I'm just gonna go straight
Oh,
forward. I liked it a lot, and I'm gonna most likely keep watching it. We did give ourselves the 3 episode rule, like only watch your episodes, kind of see where you like it from there. I actually ended up watching 5 episodes.
oh,
Um, 'Cause I was really enjoying it. There's certain parts here and there I was like, does that kind of make sense? Or it kind of like, I hope they explain it later on, because they just kind of throw you into this world
yep.
and you just and it's either you're keeping up or you're gonna get left behind kind of type of thing.
Hmm.
So then like and also I really like that this is not really spoiling anything. You really learned this really early on that Bam the or Bomb or whatever this
Yeah,
guy's name
bam,
is.
yeah.
He doesn't really remember his past.
Hmm.
So he's kind of he's pretty much the avatar for us, the
Yeah,
viewer. So he's learning things, you are also learning things about the world, which I really like
yeah.
because I have 1,000 questions about this show. Like, how does this work? How does that work? I don't want to actually save my questions. I don't want to give out the story for people who are watching it, but I have more questions than answers right now, but
Yeah.
which is understandable because I'm only 5 episodes in. Um, but I'm totally enjoying it. I'm glad I finally reluctantly watched it 'cause I really enjoyed it. Now I watched the dubbed version on Crunchyroll because it was
Mm.
dubbed. I was like, fuck, I'm just gonna watch it dubbed. It's dubbed. It's there. So it only went up to 5 episodes, and then I switched to the 6 episode, which was subbed. But I got so used to the dubbed voices, I was like, I'm just gonna wait.
Ooh, okay.
So,
That's an interesting
but
perspective. Okay.
yeah, but no, I liked it. I thank you for the recommendation. I'm for sure gonna keep watching it. I don't know if I'm gonna stick through the whole thing, but I really enjoyed it. I did enjoy those 5 episodes. Excuse me, those 5 episodes.
Ooh, okay, okay, okay. That's actually big ups on that. I like hearing that. And
Oh,
I will
baby.
say, towards the future,
Baby.
you are gonna get those answers to the questions that you have.
Okay,
Like I
that's
said,
good.
I've like kept up with all the webtoons chapters that come out, and a lot of it gets answered. Some of it kind of just stays a little bit of a mystery, but the majority of it does get answered. Um, but man, on to K-On! Man.
Mm, mm, mm. Yes, sir. Go ahead, Queen. Tell them. K on, K on, K on,
All right, I'm just gonna
K on.
say I'll
Who's your
say it.
favorite? Who's your favorite?
We're not
Tell
gonna
me right
start there.
now.
We're gonna flat out say I actually enjoyed it.
Woo!
I was thoroughly surprised, and
Yes, sir.
and a lot of it, honestly, was because of my favorite character, Yui.
Yes, sir.
The biggest fucking airhead
Yup,
I've
yup.
ever seen in some of the
Uh-huh.
animes. Like, there's Luffy in One Piece who's an airhead, but she's just like a goofy airhead, and that shit
She.
was hilarious.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
to be
Yes,
specific,
sir.
there was a scene that. So, okay, in K-On! There's like these kind of like goofy jokes that they do. Like, for example, one of them was like she like. Literally in the first episode, she like fell and it was supposed to be like goofy or whatever, and then she ran to the school because she thought it was like she was late to
She
class or
was late.
whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
and
was
I was
late.
like, man, like that. Honestly, that kind of started off. I'm like, man, like that's not very funny to me. But then, as the episode continued, there was a part where she had to go to like the her teacher's like classroom, right, and then grab like the papers or whatever, and then
The
these two,
fly. Yeah.
yeah, and then these two girls were looking at her because they're part of a
Ritsu
thing.
and Mio.
Yeah, so then
Mio. Yeah.
Yui like drops the papers and then she fucking bangs her head on the middle of the desk and then she had me dying because she's such a klutz and it was the funniest thing ever to see some of that stuff. But like like I said, some stuff really hit for me and then some stuff was like like okay I guess like I can see why it'd be funny but that doesn't really like it doesn't really hit my funny bone, I guess. Um, Also, a surprising thing when I was watching it, because I don't know about you, but when I watched the first episode, I give the intro like music and everything of just the full go. Like I don't skip over anything. I just watch it
Yes,
completely.
sir.
Um,
Do that for this show. Don't ever skip them.
it surprised the fuck out of me. That intro slapped. I'm not even gonna lie. Like that was just so surprising. And then I kind of
Hmm.
realized uh I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was like gonna be like a slice of life, like oh high school girl, whatever. But then when I saw it was a music based high school girl life, I was like, oh shit, like this is different. But I actually really really liked it. I definitely liked it. I watched up to 3 episodes because we set that 3 episode rule, but I'm definitely gonna go back and finish it. I
Yes.
loved the art style. It's one of those like special art styles that I don't know if it's common or not, but I actually really liked the way it looked. Um,
It's K.O. Annie. K
Whatever
Annie.
that means, man.
That's the nickname of the studio
Oh, okay, okay,
that
okay.
that works on it. Yeah.
But yeah, so I love the art. I think it was really, really great. And something that was like really, really subtle, but I actually really, really liked was the cassette tape images to like indicate like what the
Yes.
episode is, and then the like mid episode break. I think that cassette it looks so freaking cool. I like that they
Right?
change the music every time in every episode, so it's not the same little transitioning. Um, and honestly, the only issue I had with the episode, or with the three at least that I watched, was Yui's best friend. Uh, I hate
The
that.
one with the glasses?
Yeah, I hate that she was there just to say, "Oh, Yui's changing. I'm so sad but happy." Like that's literally all she was there for. And I
Yeah, she's
felt
not big.
like that could have been just like, don't add her. Like we can see that she's changing.
Yeah, she's not that important. Like
Okay.
she shows up like she's part of the student council, so she kind of like shows up like for like few storylines here and there. But like but before I continue, I've been dancing this whole time because I'm so happy that you love this show. I'm just like doing hand gestures and shit. Like I love that you're loving this show and everything you're pointing out is just like exactly like it's just such a oh my God like
See,
oh
like that's
Lord
the thing
have
though. It's
mercy.
like when you kind of give an anime the time, right? And you see like the little nuances that it has, and like the little I don't yeah, I guess nuances, right? Like the little things that it kind of brings to the table, like for example, like the cassette tape. Like that's to some people that's such a minor thing, but like to me it's like, yo, that's actually a really clever and like really really cool way of like transitioning from one scene to
Yeah.
another, and like the mid scenes between animes. Like I just think that the anime has like it's really really cool, and I saw that it was like from 2010, which is crazy, man. It looks so good for a
Hmm.
2010 anime, and
10-year anniversary, baby, just
yeah,
passed by.
and it's actually really really cool. Definitely gonna continue watching it. For those of you watching, I know Rafa has said it all the fucking time,
I
but I
preach it.
can now vouch for the anime. Go watch it. It's a really
It's
good
my
anime.
religion. And like and the coolest thing about it is that Hector, there's still one there's a main character
Hmm.
that still has not been introduced for you yet. And when that last fifth person gets introduced to the group, the dynamic really flourishes between these characters.
Okay. Honestly, my two favorite characters right now are definitely Yui, and then the other girl, the president of the club. I forget her name.
Ritsu, the
Hmm.
drummer.
She is my
It's
second
Yui.
favorite. So
It's
yeah.
Yui on the guitar,
Uh huh.
Ritsu the drummer, Mio on bass, Tsumugi or Mugi on keyboard, and then there's Asusa, which is the next character that's going to be introduced on and she's
Vocals.
also a guitarist.
Oh, guitarist.
No, she's
Okay.
also a guitarist.
Okay.
I'm not going to give away the vocals because there's a really funny joke with that.
I feel like I kind of saw it in the intro song or whatever. But
Oh shit! That also reminds me, do not skip the closing out song, the ending song, because they give it that whole like actual music video vibe to it.
oh,
Like
cool.
like the opening song, like the 1 minute 30 with opening song in the animation or whatever,
Uh huh.
it gives you the feel of through the whole show, through season one, season two, through the whole show. It gives you this feel of like these girls in high school they're making a like their own kind of like a YouTube video kind of like music video type thing. That's kind of like the feel
Oh.
that the opening song gives you. songs give you, like the just how the way it looks, stuff like that, you know. And the ending songs for the show, it's more like they said, okay, there's just an actual band, and let's actually make a music video for them.
Oh, that's kind of
It's
cool. Okay.
it's really cool. It's really cool. Also, Hector, oh my God, I'm so excited. Like just oh my God. Like I'm over here orgasming over here. Um Season one, season two are fucking awesome. And it ends perfectly. Mwah, cherry on top. The K-On movie ends it all. It's so great.
Ooh, okay.
It's so good. It's so good.
So, when I had brought up that I was watching K-On! To my sister who also loves anime, she says that she had watched the movie and she actually really, really liked it. So that's really
Yes.
cool because me and her kind of have
I
similar taste and like, well, okay, that's not true. She likes a lot of like the drama, um, reverse harem type stuff, like funny shit like that.
hmm
And like yeah, I guess more girly stuff, right? But she also loves like action stuff, so she's like a perfect in between. But she said she really really liked it, and she said I would enjoy it too. So, uh,
So she watched the movie, but not the two
no, yeah,
seasons?
she watched the seasons and the movie, so
Okay.
she really really likes Kailan. It's just well, actually one of her favorite animes. I think she told me. Um, but yeah, I mean, I guess yeah, like the vice versa worked this time around, but we'll see for the next go around, and that perfectly segues into our next animes that we're gonna swap out. So, do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first?
You go first.
Gotcha. Okay, so if you've seen this, let me know because I do have a backup. But for next podcast, vice versa, I want you to watch The Rising of the Shield Hero.
Rising of the Shield Hero. I don't think I've seen this.
It is an isekai
Yuck.
and a very interesting one. So it's not your typical isekai, which is why I specifically handpicked this one for you. I think hopefully you'll like it. It's also one of my favorites. Not top 10, I wouldn't say, but it's definitely like top 20, top 15 actually. I'd say top 15 anime that I've watched. Um, so yeah, so let me hear yours, my friend.
Okay, yeah, I've not seen it. Okay, I'll for sure check it out. For you, Hector, I've brought this up. Oh my God, this anime I brought up 1,001 times. This is gonna be 1,002 times right here, and you're gonna finally fucking watch it. Gurren Lagann,
Oh
go
shit.
watch it. It's finally gonna happen. Someone's finally gonna see this anime that's not me from my friends group. Because I've always, for the longest, I've recommended this not just to you, but to the Geek Jar bozos over there.
Oh my
And
god.
yeah, I call them bozos, and 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 they don't listen to me. They listen to like like a fifth of the time when I recommend shit to them. Gurren Lagann, you look. I'm so surprised that you loved K-On! You if you liked K-On!, you are going to
Hmm.
love Gurren Lagann, even though
Interesting.
even though they're completely different anime. Like they're nothing alike. But if K-On! If I got you with K-On!, Gurren Lagann's gonna be set.
Oh man, we'll see. And I really do hope you like Rising of the Shield Hero. I think it's definitely a really really good anime. But with that, vice versa segment is nicely wrapped up, and we can move on to our main topic today of the podcast. And last time we talked about the top 10 animes on Netflix, you gave us your five, and I gave them our five.
Right.
And we're just gonna continue with the trend. I know kind of quarantine is getting wrapped up for the most part, but cities are starting to open up. Some have already been opened up for a while. But for those of
hmm
you that like to binge watch or like to watch some things here and there when you're have free time, Hulu is in like it's another site that has popular anime on there, and just it's almost anybody has it, right? So we're gonna talk about animes on there and the five that we want to just bring up to your guys' attention and say, hey man, check these guys out if you want. And like we did in the last one, we're gonna do five episodes or five rather animes each, and then we're gonna talk about three a little bit in depth. So,
Yes.
Mr. Rafa of the Bento Boxcast,
Uh,
what are your five?
all right. Yeah, dude, I picked these out specifically for those people out there who lift the quarantine just because the government's saying he can leave your house. They live the quarantine. They're like, we're not going anywhere. We're gonna stay home. This is for y'all. Shout out to y'all. Um, it was very. You know what? It's crazy how this time around it was so much more harder to
Ooh.
pick anime
Okay.
than Netflix. And Netflix is a bigger platform, but Hulu has so much more anime, so
Oh,
much
dude,
more
yes. Oh
variety.
my
It
God.
was oh, it's so hard. I could have done my own top 10, my own top 15. Like there's so much there. It was really hard to really narrow this down. And I also didn't want to kind of repeat myself, like I said last time. Fuck John. Um, even though even though I did pick some stuff here, even though I have some I picked out that I did say in the past, I feel like I have a few here and there that that does switch, adds a little bit more variety.
Cool.
Starting
Okay.
off, number one, Afro Samurai, and I'm also including Afro Samurai Resurrection, which is like kind of the continuation of the story.
Oh, okay.
I'm counting those as one because it's Afro Samurai.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Uh, if you've seen Afro Samurai, it's
No, I haven't actually. Oh,
beautiful.
I've heard of it. I haven't watched it.
It is violent as fuck. It's super bloody. Um, um, Samuel L. Jackson does the voice for
Oh,
Afro.
that's the one. Okay. Okay. Okay.
The dub, he does the voice for Afro and for his sidekick partner dude called Ninja. He does the voices for both of them. Uh, Lucy Liu is another voice on there. I don't know if you guys remember who Lucy Liu was for your old heads out there. Um, awesome, awesome show. It's technically considered a movie, but you know they did split it up to like episodes, so you can watch it in episode form.
Cool.
Super violent, super stylized. It's like they took back in the day Japan with samurais and shit, but also kind of added like cyberpunk. It's
Ooh.
like mixed like samurai cyberpunk shit. It's like
Okay.
it's dudes with swords, but they're like half machines and like there's a guy who has like um kind of like what's his name? What's the name of that fucking DJ? Dead Mouse. You know how like Dead Mouse is like that big ass fucking head,
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
that mouse head. So yeah, there's a guy who's a samurai in the show, but it's a bear. It's like a bear head, and it's
What
like
the fuck?
and he needs it. Like he needs it, like to be able to like do what he needs to do, right? So
Hmm.
awesome shit. It's really
Okay.
out there. It's dirty. It's nasty. It's violent. You see titties. You see blood. It goes in.
So don't
Awesome
watch it in front
show.
of your parents. Got it. Good to know.
Right. Don't watch it around little kids or your parents because they're gonna ask questions. Um, from there, I have continuing on with Samurai Champloo. I've brought this anime up 1,005 billion times before. This is another anime where they kind of take like that old school era of Japan, like with samurais and stuff like that. With this one, it's mixed with hip hop, just with the style of hip hop.
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, it just a really quick premise of it. It's two samurais, these two guys, they want to kill each other, but they make a deal with this girl who she needs to find a samurai that smells of sunflowers, so they have to help her find this dude. So you see them going through this journey trying to find this guy. So once they find the guy that smells like sunflowers, these two guys could go ahead and fight each other and see who's the best one. And
Oh,
so
cool. Oh, I've definitely seen clips of that anime actually. Yeah.
Awesome
Okay.
shit. This is one of the first animes that I saw on Adult Swim, like on
Oh,
Cartoon
cool.
Network.
Okay.
Badass shit. Um, next one I have is Sword Art Online Alternative Gun Gale Online, a long ass name. Um, it's just I hate Sword Art Online. I do not like this show at all, except for this. This is kind of like a spin-off
Mm.
side thing.
Mm-mm-mm.
Because we could go into detail another day on how much I hate Sword Art Online. Because fuck them and fuck that story.
I actually
I
like
could.
Sword Art Online, so
Oh,
oof.
of course you do. Of
All
course you like
right.
Sword Art
All
Online.
right.
Of course you do. I mean, we're gonna save it. We're gonna save it before I go on a fucking rant right now. Anyways, if you people out there are listening and want to give Sword Online a try, just watch this. You'll be satisfied. It's good. Fuck everything else. Sword Online. Um, my next one, it is Akira. It's not a show. It's a movie. It's a legendary anime movie. I'm pretty sure people have heard of it. If not, they've seen the memes that relate to it. Uh, not gonna go into detail. Just watch it. It's good shit if you haven't seen it. And my last anime that I feel like I feel like it's a slept on anime. Honestly, it's called Claymore. It's about these there are these creatures. It's kind of like in like back in the day like a fantasy land, kind of like Skyrim, I guess you can say, like with
Oh,
that
cool.
aesthetic. Um, and it's about these creatures. They're kind of like werewolves almost, or they're like werewolves, vampire type things.
All right.
And there's this elite group of people that hunt them down. They're called claymores, and it's only women could become a claymore.
Why does that sound familiar?
And it's almost in the line of similar to like The Witcher. You know
Oh,
how
that's
like The
cool.
Witcher,
Yeah.
you know how like The Witcher kind of have to like they're not treated as people. Like
Yeah,
people
yeah,
like
yeah.
they're oh man, they're fucking weird. Like that's how they get treated also. The women who hunt these monsters down.
Okay.
Another super violent. Like it's like this is like a very serious anime. It's violent shit. It could be depressing at times.
Mm.
This is a sleeper for sure. Like this is it.
Okay.
That's a really good one. I'm considering rewatching it again, just because how like it was so good. Like go yeah, that's my list.
Cool. I actually really like The Witcher. So I might check that out. It sounds kind of interesting. Um,
Hmm.
but for my list, whew, okay, let's get into it. So this anime on here is called Tokyo Ghoul Re. I think it was a great way to end the series. However, you'd have to kind of go back and watch the first few seasons of Tokyo Ghoul and then come back to this one. But the fact that it's there, it's just, oh man, dude, Tokyo Ghoul is such a great anime. It's loved by many people. You know, the OP, the opening song, everybody loves from one specific seasons. I think the other ones are kind of still liked, but not as much as the
It's the
one.
first season. The
Yeah.
first season.
So definitely go definitely go watch this once you watch the first few seasons. But man, Tokyo Ghoul, it's great, absolutely love it. um and then we're gonna move on to the next one, which is the Future Diary. Now this one, Rafa, I
Woo!
know you like as
Mm.
well, but the Future Diary is
Yes.
so
Mm.
good. And I'm going to
Yes,
talk about this
sir.
one a little bit in depth. So basically the premise of it is it's like a Hunger Games esque type anime where everybody has like a special little device that does a special thing that is
It's your
you
phone, dude.
yeah unique to each and every person. And it's yeah, I guess like Hunger Games meets like modern day meets psychopath, you know, girlfriend and a bunch of other stuff. Like it's such a good anime.
A yandere.
Yeah, was that the technical term for it?
Yes, it is. It's yandere.
Oh, I did not even know that either.
So let me explain it before I got more people complaining about me. What a yandere is, everybody. By the way, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. A yandere is someone. It's a girl. I'm pretty sure it could be reversed or whatever. But for the most of the time, it's shown as a girl who's in love with someone. Let's just use an example. I'm in love with Hector. I'm not a girl, but I'm in love with Hector, right? I love him so much that I'm willing to kill other people who would get in my way to love him, and willing to kill either myself or him to preserve our love. That's what Yandere is in a nutshell.
Man, she was a psychopath. But but definitely go watch it. It's a really good anime. That's
You better be
probably
careful, Hector. I might fall in love with you. I might try to kill you. I don't know.
that sounds scary, especially because you could actually body me. So moving on, One Punch Man. I think it's a fan favorite. You know, a lot of people love it. It's such a good anime. It's such a goofy
One
anime.
punch.
If you haven't heard of it, you know, get out of your rock, uh, dude. Good anime. Go watch it. That's all I really need to
Yeah.
say about it.
Just really quick.
Go for it.
People were complaining about how season two was not the same studio.
Hmm.
And a lot of people kind of dropped out because of that. Don't. Second season is still good. The
Yep.
animation is it's not. It might not look the same at certain times, but
It definitely doesn't. Yeah.
when it counts, it counts. When the
True. True.
fight scenes come in, it still looks great. Just don't give up on it. It's still really fun, awesome action, funny show. Go ahead.
So now, Rafa, we're down to the final two on my list, and honestly, they're my two favorite ones on my list for two different reasons. The first one, if you haven't watched it, it used to be one of the big three animes.
Is it
Hunter
Bleach?
x Hunter.
What?
Yes, if you haven't watched Hunter x Hunter, oh my god, it is such a good anime. Personally, I like it above Naruto, and that might hurt some people. I know one of our friends who
What?
absolutely loves Naruto. Shout out Renee. Uh, I think Hunter x Hunter is better. I just
I
think.
do like.
Go ahead. Go
Sorry,
ahead. No, go
I
ahead.
was
Go
gonna
ahead.
say I do like how they structure their, like how they use their powers and stuff like that. I really think that's
Nen.
like
Oh my
the
god,
net. It's such a unique way to think
it's
of like having
so
powers.
good.
It's really really cool. I
I
really like
think
that.
the way they just go throughout that show, the action scenes, the fact that Gon is the protagonist. Truthfully, I don't like his like goal of like meeting the person he wants to meet, but like the path he took was badass, man. Uh
I
yeah.
do have some questions, but that's like it's super spoiler
Hmm.
questions, so I'll ask you later.
Okay.
But this
Um
is a very specific scene with Gon or Gon or whatever this guy's name is.
mhm. Oh yeah, we can
That
talk about
something
that
happens.
on
Yeah.
at a non-spoiler time, but man, like Hunter x Hunter is such a good anime, man. It's like it's one of those must watch. Like so many people love it, and for the longest time I actually never gave it a chance. I had heard people say like, man, you gotta watch it. I even like honestly, and this is gonna sound really like goofy, but the person that made me want to watch it the most was Nate Shot, who is the CEO of 100 Thieves, the esports organization. And he like lives and breathes, and he will die on that mountain of Hunter x Hunter is the best anime ever. And I'm like, dude, fuck it, man. This guy talks so highly of it. I might as well just watch it. But yeah, man, Hunter x
Uh,
Hunter is really, really good. Nate
yeah.
Shot kind of got me into it. I watched it, and whew, just go watch it. That's honestly like, I will say top five of my favorite animes. It's up there.
Of all
Of
time?
all time. That's how good it was. I would
Wow.
say that there's a certain arc with bugs. That's all I'm gonna say. That I felt was kind of
Yuck.
but then it got really good. Like I enjoyed it. Towards the end, I definitely definitely enjoyed it. And finally, Rafa, this is I think a loved anime of both of ours. Uh,
Mm,
and it's
go
surprisingly
ahead.
more surprising to you than me. Made my top five list on Hulu.
Tell them.
It is Ouran High School Host Club.
Yas,
I'm
queen.
gonna say it again one more time.
Yeah.
Ouran High School
Yeah.
Host Club is one of my top
Mm-hmm,
five animes
mm-hmm.
on Hulu, and
Yes,
let me
sir.
explain to you guys why. The
It's
premise
so
of it is
good.
so goofy. I will say the art style compared to what we watch now is a little dated, but man, the content of that anime is so good, man.
Mm,
For those of you
mm,
wondering what it's
mm.
about, it is about a girl who accidentally breaks something, right? And
Oh, whoa. Bring it back a little bit, Hector. You're missing a important part of the whole story.
which is
Okay, so our main character, who's a girl, she gets accepted to a prestigious high school where all the rich people go. But she ain't rich. She's on a scholarship.
I definitely forgot about that. You're right. So yeah,
Hmm.
so she's a person who's on a scholarship, and so remember,
She broke
keep in
zero
mind
money.
she has no money, and so she accidentally breaks something which
Poor.
costs tons of money, like tons of money,
Bajillions of dollars.
and the only way for her to pay back what she broke was to join the Oron High School Host Club. And that's all I'm going to say because honestly, if I go in depth more on it, it's going to spoil a little bit about it. But man, this anime is such a goofy anime. It's such a nice, like, lighthearted anime. You laugh so much. And every single character in there has their like special moments, which I actually really loved. They have like certain episodes dedicated to them, and you fall in love with like each and every single episode, or rather, character. And it's man, it's such a masterpiece. I absolutely love it. And it's definitely, I would probably say among my list, right, like my top 5 list. I don't know if I said about Hunter x Hunter, but I'll say it about this one. This is a must watch on Hulu or on High School Host Club. This one is the one. Like, if you're not gonna listen to the other 5 or the other 4, watch this one, 100%.
Oof, I love it. I love to see it. I love to see it from you, Hector. You have shocked and awed me this episode just with K-On! Or on Host Club. Like, bro, like I was so surprised last episode when you brought up
A Silent Voice.
movie A Silent Voice. I was like, oh, okay, look at Hector. He has range. He likes more than just action. Now I'm really surprised.
The K-On! And then this
K-On!
one.
And then, dude, I love Oran Host Club. I've seen this show at least 5 times, through and through.
I would say I've watched it about 3 times through and through.
I love this. Hector. Kiss, fall
in love. Oh my god, that was so cringe.
Oh my god, that was my dang. Oh god, it's my fucking show, dude. I'm telling you right now. I love this show through and through. I might start watching it right now after we finish talking about the show. Oh my god.
So at least let me explain some a bit, right?
Oh,
so I don't
should explain.
Oh, go ahead.
We should explain what a host club is, because I feel like it's a very Japanese thing.
Yeah, that's true. So a host club is basically where it could be girls or guys, right? I think it's mostly guys, right?
It could be both.
So for just talking about this host club, the Oron High School Host Club, it's where a group of guys who kind of this is gonna sound like prostitution. They are paid.
It's like a light form.
Yeah, so it's like they're paid for their services in the sense that they hang out with the women that come through, or actually, I guess they're girls because they're teenagers, right, in a high school. So they pay to spend time with them, to like drink tea or to like
to talk,
and like they pay extra to have one-on-ones, and then there's also like group hangouts. And it's, yeah, man. And for us saying that she has to join that, like, I guess you guys can insinuate how goofy that's gonna be, but go ahead, Rafa, add on to it.
Well, yeah, because the thing that she broke was part of, like, the host club owned it pretty much.
Yeah.
So they're like, hey, you gotta pay us back. And she's like, well, I don't got money. And so they're like, well, you're gonna work for us. You're gonna work off what you owe, pretty much. That's how like the whole story was off. But like the host club is the way that I see it. Almost, it's gonna sound kind of weird, but it's like a strip club without stripping.
Yeah, I can see that.
You know. So it's like you're just hanging out with the people there, and you pay them to hang out with you. Pretty much.
Yeah, and it's like a really interesting. And what's funny is it's one of the most popular clubs in that high school, which is hilarious. If not the most popular. But I mean, yeah.
And this isn't just like an anime thing. This is like an actual thing, like an actual thing you can go do in Japan. Like you can actually go to like actual host clubs and pay women or men whatever you want to hang out with, and just pay them money to talk to you and just hang out and drink and shit. Like, it's a thing in Japan.
Yeah, I think I guess the equivalent for guys would be a maid cafe, right? So like.
Well, no, I mean there's host clubs for guys too. Like you can go and hang out with girls and shit.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Like, yeah.
Rafa, have you been to a host club?
No, because there's none here. And also, it's like.
Oh wait, hold on. We're not gonna pass that. You said there's none here, so if there was, you'd go.
No, because this is gonna be my following answer to that. It's like, why am I? It's like blue balling yourself. I don't know. Like, it's weird. You know, same thing like with strip clubs. It's like you're blue balling yourself. Like, you might as well just get a prostitute, which I've not done. Before we're like, oh, you was a kind of prostitute. No, I'm not a prostitute.
What
Okay.
kind kind of a podcast are we hosting, man? We went from
I'm just
anime to
saying.
prostitution in two
I'm
seconds.
just saying. I'm just saying.
Oh my god. Whew. Wow. Okay. Yeah, man, that was our Hulu wrap up. Those are our top 10 animes, 5 apiece. If you guys have any recommendations, please leave them in the comments below for the YouTube video. We absolutely love seeing what you guys have to say. If you guys have watched any of the ones that we recommended, definitely, man, like, put it out there. Be like, oh my god, I loved it, or oh, I hated this part. But remember, this is the important part. We don't want to spoil shit for people who haven't watched it.
Yes.
So, if you do comment down below, please be as spoiler free as possible, because some people just might want to, like, enjoy that little spark that you've watched, or maybe understand why you hate said anime. But
Mm-hmm.
that's the Hulu part. That's the big segment. And now I guess we can kind of go on to something that Rafa brought up last time. It is also going to be a new-ish reoccurring segment, Slept on Anime.
Yes, sir.
Last time Rafa brought up a really big Slept on Anime. Hopefully some of you guys watched it. I can definitely say I did not.
Of course. Not surprised.
Not surprised. I'm not even gonna lie, I forgot what it was. But
Read or die. That's what I slept on. Read or die. Go ahead.
but mine is gonna be the anime Nisekoi. I talked about it in the first episode, but now I can finally talk more about it and say why it's such a slept on anime. So it is a harem. For those of you that don't know what a harem is, it is when a male protagonist has a lot of female protagonists, or I guess they're protagonists, yeah. So female protagonists that fawn over him and fall in love with him and want to be with him, right? But sometimes they don't exactly want to show, or they all show it in different ways. And they're all special and unique in their own different ways as well. So this specific harem has a little interesting plot twist. So the main character's name is Ichijo. And he is the head son of the, I want to say, what's the Yakuza clan in Japan, and
Which is the Japanese mafia.
Yes, sir. And then the other, I would say protagonist, right? The female lead,
The female lead, the main girl.
She is the daughter of the leader of an American like gang, right? That decides to move over to Japan for like some time, and her like organization that she's a part of, which is the the gang, and then the Yakuza, which is the mafia group. They decide to have not decided, right? They had a war because they're like trying to fight over stuff, and so I guess this isn't really spoiling, right? But like they have to be in a special relationship, both the girl and the guy.
Yeah, it's not really spoiling it. It's kind of like it's almost like kind of like the premise.
Mm-hmm.
Like the two gangs decide to. Is it? I think this is how it goes. Correct me if I'm wrong, because you know the show more than I do. But like, don't they have to come up with a truce or something like that? Like,
yeah. So in order to like cause or rather to result in a truce, right? Both heads of their parents, right? Their dads decide, hey, let's just have you guys date. It could be fake. It's gonna be a fake relationship. You guys don't have to be like all crazy in love. But wouldn't that be cool if they did? Is how they kind of like talk about it. But they basically do that so that there's like no fighting and everything's just peachy keen and everything's cool. However, both characters don't exactly like each other, so that's where like the jokey side of it all was like, we don't like each other, but we have to pretend to like each other, so everybody stops fighting. And yeah, so like I feel like it's a slept on anime because I don't know, man. When it came out, and it's kind of an older anime, I don't remember hearing a ton about it, or at least seeing like so much love for it. I know there's definitely like diehard fans for it. But I just feel like it's an anime that people need to watch. And I guess to continue with like the harem side of it, and the special part about this anime is that Ichijo has this key, or rather this lock around his neck, right? And it's symbolizes the person he's gonna eventually marry, and it was like a promise that he made when he was a little kid. And then each girl within his harem has a key, and then we basically find out later on that each and every one has kind of like connection to the past with one another, and it gets convoluted and like crazy and blah blah blah. But we're trying to find out who Ichijo is gonna end up marrying, uh, or I guess just being happily ever after with, right? Because it doesn't necessarily mean marry, but it's dude, it's such a good anime. It's definitely good to watch. There's a lot of funny situations and like jokes in there, and like man, it's a pretty good different kind of harem because there's some weird harems out there. Like what is it? Hunter DXD or whatever the fuck it's called. If you know what I'm talking about.
Ooh, there's just some big titties all over that screen.
But yeah, Nisekoi is definitely a different type of harem, and it's a funny one. It's like a comedy harem. I don't know if that's a specific genre or whatever, but definitely go watch it if you guys haven't. It's my slept on anime of the podcast episode, and yeah.
Nice. See, it's a harem where because there's a lot of girls who are interested in the main guy, but it's not an ecchi harem
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of people who hear harem tend to associate that with like ecchi and like naughty shit and stuff like that. Ecchi, by the way, it means like it's kind of like borderline softcore porn almost.
It's basically softcore porn the way I see it.
Like there's like titties and ass shots left and right, and
But they'll
like
never show a nipple. They never show like
yeah, like
anything specific.
they yeah, like they show cleavage like up the ass, like it's very it's like no Skinemax. No, I was gonna say Skinemax, but like they show 'em- they don't show like actual penetration in Skinemax, but like it's almost if it hits
This anime
Skinemax,
is all over the place. Anime
it's
this
almost
podcast.
it's almost like right there like the character would fall like the main guy would like he's like as an example he's running to school like oh man I'm late to school and then the girl's like walking and then he runs into her they hit each other or like they crash into each other and they fall down and this man's face is just all over her titties and his hands are on her titties and man is just going to town squeezing on them titties like that's pretty much what like ecchi is like
It's like, oh
or
man,
like
this is a pretty soft rock, and then he looks up
yeah,
at
like
her
oh my
boobs.
god, like this soft pillow. She's like, oh, what are you doing? And then she like slaps him or some shit. And then it's like, oh, what an asshole. But they're still best friends, even though he just sexually harassed his girl. Or another example is the girl is like, I don't know, hanging off the fucking roof or some shit. I don't know. She jumps off the building, and the guy's like, "I'll catch you," and then her literally her ass lands on his face, so she is sitting on him. So this dude's just eating coochie,
Oh my
uh,
god.
in a sense, and she's like, "Oh, how can you do that?" So it's like it's a lot of sexual harassment going on, but nobody really counts it as sexual harassment.
So what we can gather from there, guys, those who are watching, Rafa likes to watch a lot of ecchi.
I don't. I honestly don't.
Anime.
I honestly don't. Because this is gonna sound worse, but I would just rather watch porn. I would just rather watch porn, or I'm not gonna waste my
Oh
time
my
blue
god.
balling myself here. Oh,
Uh,
by the way,
yeah.
I actually have a question for you about Nisekoi,
Go for
the
it.
show you were just talking about. Because I know there's like a second season, and I
hmm
know there's like a side story. Did you see all of that also, or did you just kind of like follow
So
the
I
main?
have fully. I guess I probably should have talked about that too. I have fully watched all the seasons, right? And I've even read the manga, which ended a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
So I actually am very happy with the way it ended. Extremely happy with the way it ended. Um, I loved it. I shed a tear. And yeah, so that's why I'm really excited for them to continue the anime again because right now I think it actually no I for sure know that it ends after the two seasons and they haven't touched it since and it's been years, man. And the crazy thing with the anime is like they'll like let's say they do it right now like in 2020, right? They'll release an anime like season one and they can decide whenever the hell they want like we'll release season two in like 2022 and you're like dude bro that's been 2 years and sometimes it's like there's gaps of like 10 years where like hey so you guys remember this anime well we're bringing out season 2 in 10 years later and you're like dude what the fuck so then you got to go back and watch the first season if you're not like a mega fan and there's just a lot with anime it's just companies decide whatever the hell they want but season 1 and season 2 of Nisekoi it's great and honestly my biggest recommendation to anybody that gets into anime is if you like an anime and it's hard stops and there's no like no inkling or tentative date for when they're going to release the next season or even started like making it, right? If they have a continuation in manga, read it. It's not going to give you the same effect as watching an animation live, but like, man, like reading a manga can add so much different perspective, and like, man, like the pictures are just so well drawn. Like it's crazy to see how manga art goes from that, to like seeing it on, I guess back then it used to be like paper, right? Kind of like comics. But now it's like on your phone, you can, watch it or rather read it on different sites. But the fact that you see it on your phone and like, man, or like a tablet or like the computer, it's such a cool thing to read, in my opinion. And like, there's so many good animes that have incredible continuations of manga that they haven't been released yet. But Nisekoi is definitely one of those where I would recommend, if you really get hooked on it, just read the manga, finish it. Such a great ending, in my opinion. Maybe you might have a different opinion, and maybe you wanted a different girl to end up with each Joe or whatever. But I loved it. I wanted the person I wanted ended up with him, and oh, so good.
Wow. No, that's great. I was wondering if you saw it because I know it continued,
Mm-hmm.
and I did start that anime. I never finished it, but I might give it another chance. Just because you're saying, so you're saying like it ended good. You're satisfied how the anime
Yeah,
ended, pretty much.
extremely
Okay.
satisfied. So I would
Well,
say
so
go
so
for
the
it.
anime did wrap up, or the anime
So the anime
still
has not
continuing?
wrapped up. It has ended. I
Uh,
want to say a little bit less than half of where the manga's at. Um, so there's still a ton of content for them to make out of the manga, right? But they just hard stopped it, and like I said, it's been
yikes.
years. So that's the only shitty part. Which is why I say, if you really liked it, right, just read it, because you never know when they're gonna come
Hmm.
out. And then if you're like me, right, if you think the way I do, when I read a manga and I get really ahead, I think, man, dude, like for some people, like, oh, you're spoiling it for yourself. It's gonna suck, rewatching it. I'm like, nah, dude, fuck that. I cannot wait to see this scene in live animation. I
Hmm.
can't wait to see how they adapt this one to this, and like just do all this crazy shit. Like
Or or to
it's
even
crazy.
see if they follow the story.
Yeah, exactly. If they add any like little special things because it's anime related, like okay, so one of the biggest things. Thank you for bringing that up. Uh, one of the craziest ones that I've seen, right, where they change the story a little bit or add like their little certain like special flavor to it in the anime compared to the manga. One Piece. One Piece, the anime compared to the actual manga chapters are so different, and it's crazy. So they basically follow the same guideline, right, of where the manga is and the main story plots, but they add little extra scenes in the anime where they're like, hey, so this specific like scene in the manga, they don't really talk about or like really give any extra info on, and they kind of just brush over it. And then they'll add like extra cool shit. Like, for example, in one of the most recent episodes, they had like a fighting scene where Sanji, who was one of the crew members of the Straw Hats, is fighting a guy named Page One, and he turns into this giant like T-Rex, and they're fighting, right? And you only get a few scenes of that in the manga, but in the anime, like they're going all out, they're fucking fighting it out, and it's crazy. And then one of the biggest differences that from recent memory, right, from the anime and the manga is Luffy fights an Emperor of the Sea named Kaido, and during that fight scene, Luffy has like this weird aura, like Ultra Instinct type thing, and in the manga chapter, like nothing at all. Um, but then like that fight scene just ends so differently, and like Kaido uses a different fighting attack, or like not fighting, he uses a different like type of attack than he did in the chapters, and it's like it causes so much like debate and like conversation around it, like, man, why is the anime doing this, and oh man, I like the manga better, but I love the way this looked in anime. It's such a really cool thing to see when people kind of divulge or diverge rather from uh what they have written down. But I can see why people sometimes hate it and sometimes love it. It really just depends if you have an open mind on it or if you're like dead set on one over the other.
Hmm. For sure.
But yeah.
I can go. I could talk about like Soul Eater and stuff like that, but I'll say that for another day.
Okay.
Like
Let me.
relating with manga and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, that could be a topic for another podcast, just manga in
Hmm.
general.
Your shirt.
But I think we're kind of getting close to the end of our, episode, and I think it was a really great one. So we're gonna try to do this special thing, right? Where we're going to basically talk about what we're gonna do in the next podcast, Rafa.
A little,
Ooh,
a little taste,
ooh,
a little preview, a little
preview.
snack.
So in the next podcast, it's going to be a really, really special one because we're going to have the first ever guest of the Bento Boxcast. I know we're 4 episodes in. You guys think like, man, you guys are already branching out for guests? Well, guys,
Is it Brad Pitt?
Oh, one more guess. Give me one more guess.
Steven Seagal.
No, but somebody with a worse hairline than him, honestly. His name is Alex from the guys over at Geek Jar. Yes, I know we talked mad shit about him. Yes, we know he has a terrible hairline. Yes, we know his hat is a little too tight. That's why he has a weird shaped head. That honestly, you know what? I have a theory. Actually, now that I bring that up, right? Imagine talking shit about your future guest. Anyways, so you know how he has that like a hat in almost every podcast, right? Episode that they've ever shown.
Yeah.
So my theory, right? My fan theory is he has that snapback on too tight, to the point where it swells his head and then further gives him a bigger head. And I think his hairline can't support the growth of his head, which is why it's so fucked up.
I like how you're talking so much more shit than I am.
You know what, man? They started it. Okay, that's not true. You started it, and then they continued it, and then I got the smoke the entire fucking time in the last episode of their playing pod, and I will not stand for it. That's why Alex is going to get the mega smoke, and I cannot wait to hear them on the next one. But in the meantime, they can sit nice and, well, I was going to say pretty, but I guess with the way their heads are shaped, ugly. With this. Anyways, he's gonna be on the show, guys, and it's gonna be
fun.
It's gonna be a really special, fun one.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun things planned for that episode. Do you want to tell them a little bit of what it is, or?
Yeah. I mean, we'll give them a little sneak peek. So, actually, as you know, we kind of did already previously when we talked about live action, guys. So, a lot of anime is kind of switched into live action because people are like, oh man, excuse me, this anime does really, really well, so let's just, make it live action. And then they don't fucking hit the mark. People are upset. People are mad. So we're going to talk about that. And specifically movies. Anime movies.
Yeah.
And then just to give you one more sneak peek. Just one more. Because I know you guys are salivating at the mouth. We're also going to talk about something special. So over at Geek Jar, they're a gaming podcast. They like to talk about pop culture. They like to talk about games. They like to talk about Grand Theft Auto and, oh shit, that was not the game I was going to say. Assassin's Creed.
Oh my god.
And
Assassin's Creed this. Assassin's Creed that.
Oh my god. And Fast and Furious is the best movie of all time. I mean, come on, bro. The Rock does look phenomenal in those movies, though. But
yeah,
we're gonna talk about anime gaming that came from anime. It could be about anything they've ever played. Anything we've played. So we're gonna talk about that as well. But that's it, Rafa. We can't go them anymore because then at that point we might as well just continue the podcast now and record right into it.
I'm really looking forward to it, especially because. I'm just gonna talk about a little bit more.
Go for it.
Just a little bit.
Fuck it. Why not?
The anime movies that we're talking about, that live action, we're not talking about the ones that just get released in Japan. We're talking about the ones that went international. For as an example, just one example, Dragon Ball Evolution.
Ugh.
Right, so you guys know that was worldwide release and stuff like that. So there's about a handful of movies that we are gonna watch. If not, we already watched in preparation for this next episode, and then we're gonna discuss some kind of. I was thinking what we could do is that we kind of get together and kind of like rank them. Kind of discuss how we could rank them, stuff like that. And the one reason I'm really enjoying this, or really looking forward to this, is because. Alex is my best friend, but I like fucking with him, and I just love the idea that he has to sit there and watch these horrible, shitty fucking movies. It just makes me laugh. So that's all I just want to say about that.
Yeah.
Love you, Alex.
Yeah. We all love them. It's the truth. They're great guys over there.
Right.
But that being said, man, I think that's about it for this podcast episode 3 of the Bento Boxcast. Of course, if you guys enjoy what you guys listen to, please, for the love of God, drop a goddamn like, subscribe, hit that freaking bell button to get notified when we upload
Yes,
again.
sir.
And to be super, super specific, guys, to give you guys some fresh news, we are moving to weekly uploads. That's right. You heard me.
Oh my God!
Weekly uploads.
Excuse me. What?
You guys thought you guys were getting enough of that anime dosage? No, bro. You're going to get more. You're going to get so much more. We cannot wait to bring you guys more content. If you guys have any ideas that you guys want to throw at us and say, hey, man, this would be a really cool segment, or you guys should try to do this, man, we'd love to hear it. Drop it down in the comments below. And of course, if you guys absolutely love what we can do here, share us out. Share us out there on your social medias. We're also on Spotify. You can look us up on Anchor.com, where we also have the Bento Boxcast site, and you can see any other places that we are on. The only place that I believe we're not on for podcasts is Google. Not Google. Sorry, we're actually on Google Podcasts. Is the Apple Podcast.
Apple Music.
Apple Music. There you go. Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I guess they just don't fuck with us. They also don't fuck with Geek Jar 3000, so I think they just don't want, the culture to grow. I think that's just a problem.
Oh my God.
Apple, if you ever want to sponsor us, that was a complete joke. I promise you, I did not mean it. But yeah, man. Any closing statements from you?
Just really quick, guys. We talked a lot of shit about them this week, this episode. But go check out Geek Jar 3000, the playing pod with Alex and John, or John Alex. I don't know which name goes first.
I think it's Alex and John.
These guys are awesome. They've been friends with us for years. I used to do videos and podcasts with them for years. Also, they talk. They're the most video gamest podcasts around. They Fast and Furious and what's the other shit they talk
Creed
about?
And,
Assassin's Creed and
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat. They talk about video games and how much they love about video games, movies, pop culture. It's really fun, really unique podcast that comes out every Monday, right?
Every Monday.
Every Monday on their YouTube channel. They're also on Spotify. They're on Google, whatever. They're not on Apple, like Hector said. But if you guys want to listen to these guys, they're hilarious, really awesome guys, really very entertaining, for sure. We talk shit, but it's all from love. So
yeah,
we'll check them out.
But yeah, that's about it from us, guys. Appreciate you guys so much. Remember, share us, do all that thing. And we'll be here again on the channel, on Spotify, every Friday, like I said. Much love to everybody. See you guys. Bye.
Bye.